All right. Hi, and welcome to the Skeptical Leftist Podcast, the show where I talk to a variety of people to spread critical thinking, progressive politics, and left-wing philosophy. And today I'm joined by Stafford Taylor. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Corey. It's a real pleasure to be back. I know it's been a while. It's been about 2 years
Yeah, roughly.
since I was last on the show. I don't know if you have the date.
I could look it up, but I'd have to turn on the hard drive and everything. And yeah,
That's good, man. Like, honestly, like the preparation I'd done for the day was basically I scribbled a little bit on a bit of paper, and that was about it. So that's my ADHD prepping for you.
Well, that's more prep than I did.
Oh, you're an old ham with it, so you know.
Yeah, that's true. I have been doing this a little while.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's quite unusual. Although I have had a few media appearances. I did go on a few different programs because I don't know how much you follow me on. I mainly post on Facebook now.
I'm almost never on Facebook.
So you've probably seen nothing that what I've been up
No, not
to.
really. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny because I suppose I've done a whole load of different things. So I was involved with the homeless situation at one point because I was sleeping in my car for a little while, and yeah, that was quite grim. And I think I talked about that with you before.
Right.
I've also had other issues with seeing my daughter. She's in a different country, so that's another thing I'm navigating. And it has to go through the social workers, and what they're like is absolutely ridiculous. But then as well, I've written my book and been going into looking into communal living and stuff like that, and
nice,
being more off grid, and also writing my book and traveling as well. So I've done a lot of different things. Been in a lot of different places. If you want to ask anything, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, so where are some of the places that you've traveled?
Oh, so the places I've traveled. So last place I traveled was India, but I've been to, believe it or not, I've been to India twice this year already.
Holy shit!
So yeah, I maybe should go back to earlier on. I'll take it right back. So I was doing this project for the homeless. I was helping the homeless, and because obviously I've been in that situation, I wanted to give back to them people, and not just a thing of giving some money, but actually giving them the ideas that they could be positive, and they didn't have to be downhearted, and what we could do together. So we transformed the whole outside area. Grew our own vegetables, all that kind of thing, and we called it the Route to Resistance. It was based in Canterbury, and the people, they really enjoyed it. They wanted us back, and we were due to restart the project, but there was a lot of issues going on, particularly with the person who I partnered with, who I once called my sister, but she's has her own problems in life, and mainly because of issues with her, things diverge, and also because I met a woman in America.
Okay,
and that is another thing that got involved, that got in the way of me finishing the project or continuing it at least. I went to America to meet this lady, and we traveled around the States for 2 months. We went to 8 different states.
Wow.
I don't know if you count Washington, D.C. as a state, but
I guess it sort of counts, right?
yeah. It's only like a city, isn't it? But yeah, I'm counting that anyway.
Yeah, that sort of counts.
So yeah, we've done America, and that everything seemed okay, but she come back here. She missed her family. She was like, "Oh, I so want to come over and be in England with you." But when she got here, she missed her home. So
yeah,
it was what it was, and she had to go back. I ended up meeting someone else, and that's when I was invited to Goa.
Okay.
When I got to Goa, I then found that this woman, I didn't get on with her. So
Oh
I
no.
she told me she didn't want me in the place with her. She said, I'm not used to being with anyone.
Yeah.
But this is this is how the ADHD life is. We're very much all over the place.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah. So this woman anyway. I moved out from her, made me depressed. I was like in this small room, didn't really know anyone in a country I hardly knew. We'd only been together a week, but
No,
I
geez.
met a lot of people over there, and ended up having quite a good time. And in fact, met a woman over there who hardly spoke English, but we got on quite well, and we hung out quite a bit. And that's why I went back to India. But
Okay.
I was having some mental health problems as well. I'm not going to lie, because this woman couldn't really be with me
Hmm.
because she was in some sort of abusive relationship, and she couldn't get out of it. Because in India, obviously, it's very different. It's not like here. Um, you go into an arranged marriage, and you marry the whole family.
Uh, okay.
Um, so there's and one thing I would say about Indian society is there's so much different in there that's good, and also that's not good. So
Ah,
one thing
yeah.
that's good is they don't have the corporatization. It's all very much regular people just looking after each other.
Right,
And
right.
and as well, they have the big community and family. They all look out for one another. Whereas here, we're a lot more I say here in the West, we're more sort
Yeah.
of individualized.
Yeah. So
Um,
hyper individualism and yeah.
yes, yeah, 100%. Uh, but over there, that hasn't really got there yet. They're still very much where I went to was a small town in Goa, called
Okay.
Arambal, and everyone they look out for one another. There's not really much crime because everybody speaks and they know what's going on. Basically, it's not like one of the big
Right.
cities. Um, so I feel like we've lost that a little bit over here. We're all a little bit. It's a self interest, I think, and not interested in what's going on with anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. It's unfortunate. We definitely are. Yeah. Like I don't know my neighbors. I don't know the people
yeah,
that live across the street from me. Like we supposedly live
bad,
in
isn't
a
it?
neighborhood, but yeah, it is bad. It is. We should at least have some sort of
But,
community here,
but
right?
I feel with this, and I'll go more into um, my progression politically because I feel like I've got more anti-technology in a lot of ways. Not that
Oh yeah.
I am anti-technology, but because I think technology is great. But I do
Right.
feel that we are living in air-conditioned boxes, and it's like an address is sort of like a prison. We're chained to these addresses,
Yeah,
and
it's like yeah, no, I,
yeah,
I
go
I
ahead.
can see where you're going there. Like I absolutely
Yeah,
like I love living in the modern age with air conditioning and heat and like multiple computers and whatever that we can communicate you and I. But
but we've
also
lost our purpose, right?
that's right. Like I don't like I say I don't know my neighbors. I spend like an incredible amount of time alone, even though I live in a house with other people and have a partner. it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
it's very strange. We like self isolated ourselves, and yeah, and it's the way it's promoted to be, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I think everything about the system is like that. So in the beginning, we get in a school, and rather than share the answers with the other kid, we're told keep the answers to yourself.
Yeah, right.
So they get you young, competing
Yeah,
with the other one. Rather than if we were in a more tribal society as we evolved, we would naturally be inclined to help the other person use a bow, for example, because
yeah,
that would boost the group survival.
yep,
So I believe, excuse me, I believe that would be beneficial to us. I think we've lost something as concerns like how communal we were.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's hyper
Yeah, I
individualism.
I definitely agree with that. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. We've got a few people here in town, like that are of like politics, and we're often trying to figure out a way to like get together every now and then, build a real community around our ideas and the way that we think the world should be. But even those of us who are into that idea are having trouble meeting regularly because so much of
Mm.
our lives is this isolated version.
Maybe the key
And
is to. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
oh no, I was just also thinking like you said about the schools. Like I was thinking too, like not that long ago that we're doing something very different than we should be with the way schooling is. It's like
It's an anti-human system in a way.
right,
It's
right.
um, it's designed to make people pieces in a system, uh, and take their humanity away. And I think this, I guess, materialism, the possessions that we have,
Yeah,
uh, all these things also divide us further. When people have money and some people don't have money, there's instantly a divide.
yeah,
Um, and that it's not right. It it just it makes people act bad. Money. It
yeah.
doesn't do anything good, as far as I can see. And we may have more stuff around us, but are we happier for it?
Exactly. It's a very good question. I'm not even convinced that we are.
Yeah. I don't know, because I think what's more real to me in my life is a connection between other people,
Yeah,
and the I guess the experiences, more than I own this. This is my house. This is
right.
my land. This is a bullshit thing. This is just control. That's all
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
right.
I
Yeah,
mean, if
like
you sorry.
I just I can't help but like I mean maybe part of it is because I don't own anything. Like not really. Like I own my computers or whatever, but I don't own like a land or a house or like the bank technically owns my car still. Like this is all stuff that I'm paying for. I work to have, but like it doesn't belong to me in a lot of ways. So that maybe that colors my perspective.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, because even if you do own things, it's a little bit like, I don't know. Then you've got the potential that if someone else touches that thing, then you're going to be aggressive. It's if we go right down to the brass tacks of property and its origins. Um,
Yeah.
there's a saying that it's the territorial imperative. So if you go way,
Mm,
way back, there was a why does a dog pee on a lamppost? Because it's marking a claim. And
right.
also, what's interesting is that is the majority of animals. The reason they have conflict is because of this ownership, this idea
Right.
that this is my territory and that's your territory. And to think nowadays with borders and flags and you know, get off my lawn or I'll shoot you kind of thing. That's
Yeah.
that's no we're acting no differently than two
Yeah. That's
tribes
right.
of baboons or whatever it may be that want to tear each other to pieces because they've wandered over the wrong patch.
And in some ways, like we're even less evolved than that because two packs of baboons might be able to, or some type of ape or some type of animal, they might be able to communally exist because their thriving helps themselves each other, right? But we don't
Yeah.
seem capable of that anymore. Like we've given that up in order to be like competitive.
Well, I think we've almost the reason why we've become almost worse in a way is because we've a lot of these animals, they just go on their instincts, that
Yeah,
they don't have the concept, they don't have the ability to conceptualize like we do. They're simply basing their lives off of survival.
right.
uh if we do that, as thinking human beings, then, you know, who are we? Are we human at all? Because, the minute we start thinking, or rather not thinking, and just being like, I will do literally anything to get to the top, I'll tread on this one and that one, we forsake our humanity. And I think our
Yeah.
humanity is partly forsaken now because of this drive to push us apart and to take away from the communal, tribal based way of life that we were
Yeah.
before. I feel like we had a common purpose of surviving together before, whereas now the system has made us into cogs, and the cogs that are the best ones get further ahead, and the others are left behind, and that's not how it should be at
Yeah.
all. It
No,
should
for
be a
sure.
thing of don't leave anyone behind. Um,
Yeah, I have to agree. It's and I mean it's so clear the way that like the kinds of people that gain that higher level of power, and then they maintain it by making sure that no one else can catch up to them. so
well,
so
it's
it's
all authority. So I mean, or
yeah.
so-called authority, because people define that differently. But it's all about power. Money is about power. So many of the constructs of the law, for example, is about
Mhm.
power, and about keeping. I always put it this way: people say that the police are put there to protect us. I think the police are put there to protect the elite from us. That's how I
Yeah,
think.
like the property owning class,
Yes,
the yeah,
the
for sure.
wealthy oligarchs of the world,
Yeah.
that they benefit from the state. So the idea that there's ever going to be such a thing as anarcho-capitalism, which is such a
It
bullshit
can't.
thing,
Yeah,
it
that's
can't
right.
happen
No, it can't.
because the state was primarily founded, and feudalism and all the knights and all of that were put there as the strong men. They were put there to defend the property claims of
Yeah,
the elite. So it would have
that's
been
right.
kings and queens back in the day. Now it would be your Jeff Bezos and your Musks and people like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and by and large, like you say, you take the United States for example, right? Without the state, like the land never would have got divided up in the way that it
Mm.
did, and it never would have got handed over to the richest people who came here the way it did,
Well,
and
property's
like
9/10 of the law, isn't it? That's what they say, anyway. I don't
that's
know
what they
how true
say.
that
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
I
By and
mean,
large,
that
they
says it all.
reinforce that. Yeah, by
Yeah,
and large, they
yeah.
reinforce that even with something like intellectual property. They really like the copyright law, trademarks, all that shit. They've got all this stuff in line so that they can call anything property, and if you own it, then you can limit who gets to touch it, who gets to use it, and anything, even access to it. Right?
It's
Where there was a time,
control. It's dominance,
yeah,
territorial
that's
dominance.
right.
So the idea
Yeah,
that
that's right.
property is free or a market is free is insane, because it's not. It's all
Exactly.
property is based on dominance. If you go back in
That's
time,
right.
that's what it's all based on.
Yep.
So I think we have to get that out of our mind. And I think people are beginning to wake up to that. Like I don't think it's as many people talk about the free market now. I think even the people who did used to talk about that, they're more becoming more authoritarian because it's
Yeah.
just a reality. And
Because, well, yeah, that's right. Because they have to. And I think
Mm,
I was just watching something about like Gen Z or whatever, young people basically, and they are less inclined to buy into the work and property system as it exists because they can't get work and they know they'll never own property.
mm,
And so they
yeah.
don't buy into the system as it is. And then of course the people who have power and the control of the media, they do like to frame things in such a way that like, oh, young people are lazy or they don't want to work or what have you, when really they don't have any faith in the system, so why are they even trying, right?
Mm. Yeah,
But
it is like that, and I do feel a lot of sympathy for people nowadays. I think back in the day when my parents or even my grandparents particularly were growing up, they had life a lot easier than what people do today.
In some
Um,
ways, for sure. Yeah.
yeah. It's in terms of material access to stuff. It seemed like then they were getting a lot of new things, and nowadays it almost feels like there's a level of stagnation in some
Yeah.
ways, and
Yeah.
people aren't gaining anymore. I mean, we had the Cultural Revolution, we had the that there was the Soviet Union, so there was sort of there was almost a reason for the
Yeah.
Western side to increase the standard of living for people here, because there was a risk
Yeah.
of other ideologies taking over.
Yeah.
So nowadays that isn't really a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's more of a. I mean, the technology is going to change the world a lot. I mean, we're already seeing that,
Yeah. But
and I
whether or not
believe
it's in
that
the right
is.
direction, eh? Yeah.
I believe it's one of the risks of atomization. It can also be a great thing for connection, a tool for connection.
Yep. Yep.
But it can lead to more division as well. I think that's a big worry. Um,
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of both of those effects, right? Like obviously you and I we would never have been able to connect without the technology as it exists now, or at least
mm,
on some level.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
like you look at the amount of misinformation that's spread throughout uh, the media sphere, like and like
The
just
AI
the
slot.
sheer the
People
slop and like
believe as well, you know.
that's right, like and just the sheer
All
amount
the
of like
boomers.
lies that come out of that comes out of the United States government, let alone any other government, like like, like
Yeah,
I don't trust my government and I'm not in the United States. So,
yeah.
so
Well,
it's
it's all
yeah.
follow the leader, isn't it? A bit with America. I think with Europe, we're all a little bit beholden to the US.
Yeah.
Um, but then
Yeah.
obviously the fear is in the east is Russia. So you know,
Yeah,
uh,
and obviously Russia's not great either, and same with China, right? Like they're still like
yeah,
exploitative, they
yeah.
have billionaires that own lots of shit.
None of them are anarchists. That's a problem.
That's the problem, exactly.
But how do we ever change on a national level, or do we have to bring it down to groups and communities and
I
try and
think
get?
that's the only way to do it.
I think that
Yeah,
is
I
the
think
only
that's the
way,
only way.
isn't it? Yeah,
Because
nowadays. I mean,
essentially, on some level, I think like the system itself is going to collapse in on itself. It will eventually make it impossible for the working person or the non able to work, like the disabled person who's not able to work. Uh, they will make it impossible for them to survive without a community around them to help them survive, and that's going to make us all part of those communities in some way, whether we want to be or not.
mm, yeah,
and
we look
and
to
I
escape it.
yeah, that's right. And I just don't see any other way except for, small community building and like support systems and helping each other out, right?
Mm. And I wonder where truth stands in all of this, because there's so much in the way of, like you say, there's fake information now, and does it stand a chance, do you think, in the future? Do you think we have a chance of getting back to, I don't know, just reality, I suppose?
Well, I do, but that's because I think that like ultimately lies collapse in on themselves eventually.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
misinformation will lead
Hmm.
to the destruction of the whole thing. And then we're left with nothing
It's a
but just what's
charade.
in front of our faces. Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, illusions eventually get destroyed.
Yeah.
It just
Well, yeah.
I I
I agree with you, and I
I
think
yeah.
tactically, I think as an anarchist, we have to think tactically as well. We can't be self-defeating because there's already enough against us
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
if we're to go, Orwell said it this way, didn't he? What was it he said? That a mountain in the future is a picture of a boot on a human face for the rest of time. Uh,
Right.
I like to think that, we can escape that because we are human and we have a
Yeah.
desire for freedom. we have a desire for fairness, we have a
Yep.
desire for a certain level of harmonious existence between one another.
Yep.
I think these are the most human things. So then
Yeah.
to have a system that basically fucks all that up, we're becoming untrue to ourselves. So
Yeah.
it's a case of
No, I
finding our
agree.
way back to that truth
That's
and that
right.
humanity.
Which is, I mean, it's, I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be happening soon or easily, right? But I do think it eventually has to come around. But I just hope that it happens before, too many people suffer.
Yeah. And I think, I guess as well, there's an element of practicality as well. That's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I found that, I don't know, even among anarchists, there's a sort of level of snobbery. So I got in an argument with someone recently, and they were saying, "Oh, if you don't read theory, and if you're not doing anything to affect a revolution, you're not a real left winger." And I said, "But hang on a minute, there's plenty of that's very exclusionary, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
We
It's
have to
very
be
exclusionary.
open to everyone. Well, maybe not everyone, but the majority of people have to know that there's an alternative to the system. You can't go, oh, well, if you haven't read this book or you haven't done that, then you're not one of us. It's
right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm a very strong advocate of meeting people where they are. Like I said,
Yeah.
I work with conservatives all day, every day. Like these are the people that I see on a day-to-day basis. Am I supposed to pretend that they're not worthy of care? Like maybe there's definitely lots of things I disagree with them on. And I definitely argue with them until I'm blue in the face, right? but like they're people. And on some level, we need to make sure that they are taken care of as well, because the system won't.
And there is a funny thing as well, because you say that, but you see, I think there's a level of cognitive dissonance with the voters and people who are involved in the system when they see something like, let's say, Charlie Kirk get shot in the neck or whatever happened. They're going to say, oh, that's completely unreasonable. But the thing is, how much damage does the system that people like Kirk promote, how much damage does that do? How many lives does that take?
Yep.
How many families are split up? Women are forced to go to term with children that could be from a rapist. There's, I mean, this is harmful. There's families that their father could be an illegal immigrant. They're going to be split up because they're illegal. Well, sorry, but I don't care what the laws are. What are laws? It's wrong to split up a family.
That's right.
A loving father and their parents, it's just out of line. And I forget where I was going with that point, but
I think there's lots to that. Like I think like you look at like you say, like the people who are okay with splitting up families because the dad happens to be an illegal immigrant or what have you.
They're not seeing it. They're not the ones doing it, you see.
That's true too. But then also those same people will believe in and like promote the idea that like without a father figure or whatever, then that's why youth go into crime and don't have good futures and do poorly in school and whatnot. And it's like, so the thing that you're advocating for is actively causing the thing that you want to change.
Higher
Like,
prison
I don't agree.
sentences.
Yeah, like I don't agree that that's the cause of crime. I don't think that's really the cause of crime. I don't think it's like the lack of father figures or whatever. I think it's economic situations.
I would say both. I would say if you don't have a close, I don't necessarily say it has to be a
like
father,
family.
but I think you need a big. I think a village should raise a child.
Right.
I don't think that it should just be even two parents. I don't think that's enough to raise a child. I think.
Yeah, that's right. Like the idea of the nuclear family or whatever is relatively new, right?
Yeah. Again, it's that kind of air-conditioned reality
yeah,
that we're all atomized,
that's right.
And I would probably agree that it's not a good thing that we've got single parents. But I would say even the idea of the nuclear family, that's too small for me. I think we should have
Yeah.
like you have in a tribe. If you go to poorer places where they may have shit in terms of material possession, but people look after each other, and we've just lost that. And
Yeah, for sure.
all the kids are the kids of the village. It's
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And there's a real value to that, because then they grow up knowing that the community cared about them, that they are part of something, and they
bigger than
work
themselves.
that's right, and they work towards the improvement and the help and sustainability of that community, where we don't do that, right?
We're, we are put on our own and
Yeah,
told we have to go out and make it all for ourselves, rather than
that's
given
right.
something to maintain and be a part of and be proud of.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways maybe that's why there's the rise of like nationalism and stuff, because people want to feel like they're part of something bigger.
Yep.
Um, but that really where that lies, where it should lie naturally, is towards our own tribe,
Yeah.
our own people. But it's funny because you don't nowadays. Those people are very much anti all that, because I've got plenty of people who work with the community and who do different community projects. And there was a local woman who does plenty for the community, and she was actually attacked,
Oh,
by these. Yeah, she was attacked. And I don't know if they ever apprehended the people who done it, but she was the sort of person who'd help anyone. A positive force in the community. But
of course, eh? Yeah.
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, serious.
No, that's terrible. I yeah, there's definitely something to the idea that, like, this alienation, this atomization that we are all experiencing, like, it makes people
Dehumanization as
desperate for
well.
something. Yeah, that's right. It makes people desperate for something with meaning to it. And so then,
Mm,
like, you get your nationalist projects and your white supremacist projects and whatnot, and they feed off of that. They tell you you can be part of something, you are part of
mm,
something, and we're it, and we're better than
mm.
everybody else,
Of
right?
course. Yeah. Yeah,
so
that's it.
so so the enemy isn't power systems, it's those guys over there, or those people over there.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
And that is what the culture war is, and the culture war has been promoted because it's
yeah,
beneficial to stop the class war. It
yeah,
stops
that's right.
the bottom from going from the top, and everyone from who's at the bottom, who's just a regular Joe, from fighting with one another. And
Yeah.
this is unfortunately a big reason why I've sort of lost my job in the community, what I was doing
Mm,
before, simply because of infighting and egos and stupidity. I mean, I was doing a lot of good work, and I went on the ITV to talk about which is the local station. I even went on BBC, the local BBC, and
okay.
in the Guardian, to talk about homelessness. And
Oh yeah.
I hooked up a colleague with different people from the media, uh, and we went on KMFM, and which is
Wow.
again another local radio station. But all these things that I did, ultimately, there was a lot of jealousy and a lot of wanting to be in control. I think when I started, because it all started over, I joined this community garden, and I thought, we were all quite left wing, we were all quite open, we were all, but there was a hierarchy, and I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
was used to some degree because I was in a vulnerable situation when I first started working there. And
Ah,
yeah, and I ended up being treated not very well. And
well, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah, it is really, because I thought, I was running walks and different things. But you see, the thing is people gave a lot of respect to me. You know, I had people come up just in public and shake my hand, which is
Oh
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, what a
Yeah.
nice thing. And people would say, "Oh, you're the guy who done the homeless garden, aren't you?" And uh, and as well, I raised from one donation alone, I raised £10,000 for the homeless,
Right on.
one of the homeless charities. Uh, I work with more than one homeless charity, but for this charity Porchlight, I raised uh, over £10,000 from one donation through one of these media appearances that I done.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, the I'm very proud of what I done. But you see, there's people out there who, you know, in the business world, it's cutthroat because people want money. But in the
Mhm.
charity and that kind of world, there's people that want clout. And the minute they think you're getting more clout than them, it's ridiculous how they come after you. They
Right.
don't want anyone to outshine them. And
Sounds
you know,
like, yeah.
they'll
It
run
sounds
you,
like the
they'll run your name
kind of
down.
like the NGO world almost. Like it's like they're not like coming from an anarchist
Mm.
or even a far left perspective, a communist perspective. They're coming at it from like a liberal progressive perspective almost. Like, and not to say that liberal progressives are bad, but like they have a lot more roots in the system as it exists, right? And they believe
Yeah,
in like
yeah.
hierarchies and stuff that we don't really adhere to.
Well, it was run by it was a lot of the charity world that I worked with, and one of the charities was um it was basically based around like community gardening, and it was run by these trustees.
Oh,
And I put
okay.
a lot of work into this organization, but that's it.
The trustees are still
They
in charge.
always seemed funny when I wanted to be one of the trustees as well, and
Mm,
didn't like some of the more radical things I was saying, even though they said, "Oh, yeah, yeah, we'll call you brothers and sisters," and all of this kind of thing. But it was all a bit superficial and surface level. It didn't really translate to
yeah.
actually changing how they were. Um,
Yeah.
and
That's a
yeah,
yeah. That's
and
too
then it
bad.
come to a head because I really did take it seriously. And when I was working with the homeless organization, we rebelled a few times. We stood up to the management of even the charity that we were working for, and we said there was an argument over a fence, like painting a fence,
No.
because they said this is there's no permission. So I kicked up a big stink about painting this fence. Um, but yeah, no, it was just being able to challenge that. And the homeless people who I was working with, I treated them the same as me. I didn't care that they
Right.
told me I needed insurance to give these people a lift. I just had them in my car and I gave them a lift. But the real thing that got me in shit and was used against me is I got in a relationship with one of the women, and I was letting her stay in my place and use the shower and everything. Um,
Okay.
because to me, these the people there were equal to me, and I was
Right.
trying to help them, and I didn't care that she liked me and I liked her, and that was it. But
Right.
they made the people who I was working with, they made people who I thought were my friends made such a big deal out of it. And it was
Mm.
particularly one female colleague who I believe was just jealous of me that I was having a relationship,
Mm.
and she was in an unhappy relationship, and
Ah.
she didn't want me to be happy, and she didn't want me
Mm.
to have the energy, because I never missed a day. I was there every day that I said I would be there, and she was like stressed out and yeah, couldn't get in one day, and which is fine, but she was jealous basically. I mean, I don't know where you go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate that like yeah, because that's the thing. Like even like organizations like that, they're always going to have these interpersonal kind of things that happen, right? And it always seems weird that it can affect the actual activity that you're doing. But I guess we're all people on some level, right? So we're
Mm.
all affected
Well,
by the people around us, and we're
well,
all gonna be.
I always think if you treat the world objectively, then things shouldn't be a problem. But I feel like people, they measure themselves against other people and go, oh, you know, I don't know. It's just a thing of I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but that these people are just very. They don't think about other people. Almost
Mm,
they're always worried about themselves. Whereas me, I've always been a person that I've always been what's objectively better for everyone.
right.
Um, and I think that's one of the big problems with society in general. I suppose is there is this desire to just I don't know, to divide people and have them in that subjective thing of, you know, what's good for me, but not thinking about anyone else. And that's what it
Yeah.
was like having to deal with some
Mm.
of these people, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I mean, and unfortunately, it does affect the work, right? Which is, you're working on a community garden, you're trying to help the homeless, and it probably, ends
It got
up
so
not
bad I
working
couldn't
as
work
well as
there
it should
anymore.
have. Yeah.
I
So
couldn't
then
work.
now
I
you
couldn't
can't.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't have.
It's no good.
And it's disappointing, but I've learned a lot from it. And you have to be careful of people, because even people who say they're your friend, they're not, and I think you just have to be aware of warning signs. Say someone might be slagging other people off behind their back, then you know that they're likely to do the
Yeah.
same to you. And people are afraid of people who have big ideas, and fundamentally anarchism is a big idea. It's very different. And
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of situations that I suppose people would say that's quite a radical situation to be in. um, but for example, to do all the things that I was doing, like having these people in my car and everything, like that very much wound people up the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, they're looking at it, maybe, I don't know specifically, but they're looking at it from a certain perspective, right? They're thinking about the rules, the way that you could get in trouble, various other things, and maybe they're
about their
not.
own
I
position
don't know.
basically in an
Yeah,
organization, because like I
yeah,
say, trustees and all of this kind of thing, whereas I just wanted change fundamentally, and I just
right,
wanted
right,
to see everyone that we were the same and we were all in the same struggle, even the ones of us that had a house,
right.
raising down to lift up the ones that were the homeless people, or vulnerable,
Yeah,
or
for sure.
the ones of us that were more mentally okay, helping those who had mental challenges, so we could
Right.
all sing off the same hymn sheet and get to that same level.
Yeah.
Um, but it fell through with that, and then I went to Goa, and I had a great time over there, and
Good.
I found that a lot of people there have a very, very open mind, specifically very, like it's not very money orientated, and it's very open minded. So, it's even beats people just walking around naked, and it's it's
Oh,
crazy.
jeez.
But yeah, it's like it's just very open minded. People just smoking joints in cafes, and
Very
yeah,
casual.
yeah. And it's just this big hippie kind of vibe over there.
Yeah,
Um, and
that's
what
all
it led
right.
me to was thinking, can I build something over here? Can I create a community in this place? Because the tropics has always seemed like a dream to me. And
Mm,
I've done the community gardening, and I visited a commune in Wales. I went there, and that was quite interesting. Um, so I've done these outdoor living things, and I wondered, is it possible I could start something over there? And I thought I really could. But you
right.
see, I was so, like, with my mental health, I was so high up. I was really enjoying my time there, and I literally was climbing mountains. Uh,
Right.
and I even done like this, like, pilgrimage that the Hindus do. You climb to the top of this mountain, and they play music as you go up this mountain, and
Oh, wow.
the sunset, and I done my yoga poses on the top of the mountain. And I was, by the time the holiday ended, it was like I was so high I could have almost took off. But I was also taking some stuff like meth and stuff, which is quite,
Wow.
you feel like a super soldier. Like I was dancing all night, climbing mountains the next day, then going dancing
Jeez.
again the next night.
Wow.
No sleep. Um,
Right.
so these things, yeah, they seriously. And I think when I come back, I was still buzzing for quite a long time, but and I thought, I'm going to get over there and I'm going to try and create my own business over there, and a community as well. Can I fund my own community over there?
Mm.
It's not super easy because of laws and everything else, but there were ways I could have done it. But I had such a lot of I had negativity from the people who I was working with before, who told
Mm.
me I was mad and Goal was a shithole, full of druggies and everything, that called me a crackhead because I've taken this stuff.
That seems like not very progressive and or thoughtful. Like that's not like like I don't do hardly anything. Like I drink beer. Basically, that's the only thing I do. But like to judge someone for like doing what is right for them, and to use things like crackhead as a slur
Yeah,
or like as a denigration, or to call a place
and I
where
wasn't
people are
taking
living
crack
and
either.
happy, well, and and
Yeah,
to, and to
crack's a
call a place
different
where people
drug.
are living a shithole, like it's
Yes,
just,
yeah.
it's very judgmental, it's very like elitist, and like it's not thoughtful in a sense at all, I don't think.
And this
It doesn't
person had
sound like
never
it.
been there, never been there,
Yeah.
and yet had said, "Oh, I've heard Go as a shithole," and I said, this place is really cool. Like people are really open minded there. Like everyone
Right.
gets along. Hindus, Christians, Muslims, Western, Eastern,
So then,
uh,
yeah.
Asian, European, everyone's just mingled together. And it's this very diverse, open society.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a melting pot. But to tell me, to gaslight me, to tell me I didn't know what I was talking about, and that it just, when this person said all this, it made me know, like, this person, when they had a problem with me having a relationship with the homeless woman and all of this, all it was is just jealousy, all just trying to get me down, because people are
Mm.
not just jealous of what you have, but who you are. If you're a good person, if you have good energy, and you're able to go places and do a lot of different things, people can envy you just for that, just for who
It
you
makes me
are.
think of there was a Innuendo Studios video that he talked
Oh,
about why people don't like people who don't drink, or they don't like people who are vegan or what have you, and it's because they feel like you're making good
mm,
choices or you're making ethical choices, and the mere fact that you are doing that feels like an indictment of the fact that I'm not.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I
you
wondered
know,
if that's what it
so
is. And you see, I
it
thought
could
I'm
be.
inspiring people because on my Facebook, which hopefully you can link actually, so people can follow
Yeah,
my
I will.
travels.
For sure.
Like, thank you. Like, I felt like, I'm trying to be positive and show people that they can actually go and see different things, and make some difference and meet different people. Like I met different activists when I went over to America,
Right?
artists, and yeah, all sorts of
That's
people.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just show that there is a different way to live, and in some ways, people might say, oh, I've been quite privileged, which I suppose I have been, but in other ways, I completely haven't been. Like
Right.
I had a lot of hardship I've gone through, and but no, I mean, I've always pushed the limits and done things that people would think are strange, like, for example, taking the meth or walking miles barefoot, and literally going. off into the bushes, into the wilderness,
Right.
and trying to catch pictures of bird life and things like that. But there's a lot of people who treat you like you're insane because you just want to be different. You
Hey,
don't want to conform.
I guess it's tough because I am an anarchist, so I believe in autonomy, and I believe that the choices you make for yourself are yours to make. And even if I wouldn't make those same choices, it doesn't make one of us better than the other, right?
Mm.
So where
Yeah.
so many people they just don't
People
have
make
that.
bad choices, but they should have the freedom to make them as well.
Of course,
Like
yeah,
I'd never condone. I'd never come on here and condone taking certain substances because I don't think that's my right to do that. Everyone will have their own experience with stuff.
sure. Like, yeah,
Uh,
like I'm not one to encourage people to do whatever, but I'm also not one to say don't do that. If
yeah.
you are at a place in your life where you feel like that's a choice you want to make,
Mm.
then and even in
Responsibility.
in some cases, yeah, like in some cases, like people they may, because everybody makes choices based on their own context. But
Mm.
I don't know their context. I don't know their life. Like, so it's not for me to judge them, right?
Yes. Yeah. And so many people are quite eager to judge when they
Yeah.
hardly know anyone.
Yeah.
So someone,
Especially
again, yeah. So
like
go ahead.
I just especially with drug use. Like
Mm.
you're literally not hurting anybody else.
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. And if you
it's
are, in a way, it's like
then
drinking.
that's right. And then that's what we judge. That's the
Mm.
action we deal with. That's the harmful act, not the personal autonomy that you took on, for yourself. It's the actions that you take that affect other people. And that's
Mm.
where we draw the line. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. And I very much enjoyed my time. I think partly having ADHD, that stuff, speed, meth, whatever,
Hmm.
them kind of drugs, they have something good about them for ADHD. They almost help you concentrate. Uh, you articulate
Yep.
better and you move a lot
Yep.
faster as well. And in fact, I didn't know how fast I was probably moving
Right.
until with I was doing it with someone. We'd done it the whole night, and then at the end, I was like, I'm just going to leave it now. I'll save a little bit for later before I go out, just so I've got some energy
Hmm.
for the day. I'm not going to take any more now. And anyway, we sat just on the bed and we were just talking, but she was. And I was like, I must have been talking like that before, and I just didn't notice.
Right.
I didn't know
Right.
that I was talking really, really fast.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah.
think, yeah, like I have, I think, mild ADHD. So I drink a lot of caffeine, a lot of caffeine.
Oh, me too. Me too.
And yeah, I know it helps me focus. Like stimulants help people focus like that. Or like for
Mm,
us, at least it helps a lot. And I mean, I'm currently I'm tapering down because I just found out that like the average person is supposed to have no more than like 400 milligrams of caffeine in a day. And I'm like,
mm.
so I'm on week 2 of my taper and I'm down to like 1100 milligrams of caffeine in a day. so, so I'm, yeah, I take too much caffeine, but it's one of those things. Like, of course, these stimulants helped you feel more focused, right? Like, it makes perfect sense to me. Um,
Yes. Yeah. And also, I guess
Absolutely.
just the gradual journey of meeting more people and
Yeah.
feeling at home in a country. When I first got there, I felt quite uneasy because I didn't know the currency, I didn't know the local language. And then you
Right.
gradually get used to all these things that it's almost like your second nature. Like a cup of chai costs 10 rupees, you know,
Right.
things like that. You just and you go, oh, that's wrong, and you start saying the sayings like rather than saying yes, you go ha, like 'cause that's how they say in India, like say yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
you start just picking up the little things. You get a little bit more confident. And in
Yeah.
Goa, I was. one of the big things I've had, because when I was younger, I was very, very anxious. So nowadays it's a thing of I'll go into anywhere and I'd look for the hottest woman there was and ask them to dance with me.
Ah,
And I've done that a few times. And one time I even danced with a lovely young lady who I'm friends with now. I towards the end I picked her up and I spun around like
okay.
my arms like, and everyone clapped in that building. It was because the dance floor was empty apart from everyone stopped because the band stopped and they put on the speakers. And
Oh,
it was just me and her dancing. But yeah, so I had a great time over there, blast of a time.
right on.
Literally felt like euphoric in the end. And then I've had depression and that as well. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's strange, but I think one of the things I could say, because we haven't talked much about the book in this whole, I don't know how long we've been talking.
Not yet. Yeah, we've been almost an hour already.
Yeah, well, I could go on about these travels and everything for a long time, but
I bet.
uh,
Yeah. Well, we should talk about your book.
yes, yeah. So one thing I would say I've learned is, in looking for, I suppose, a utopia or whatever, I suppose we should consider it more like we should be calm and, I guess, look for a balance, because
Mm-hmm.
chasing the highs all the time, it comes with a down. So we want to
Yeah,
look for a society where, we're just, happy people, that we don't need to always go for the biggest, the loudest, the craziest
yeah,
thing, in life, because that
yeah.
lifestyle can have really good times, but also it can lead to some horrible times as well.
Yep, yep. That's right.
Um, but yeah, I
And
mean, I'll sorry, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, I think that on some level, you're never gonna get away from like, a, you're 100% away
Yeah,
from that
no,
kind of idea, right?
happy.
But
Yeah,
yeah, like people are gonna look for like the good feelings, and then sometimes people are gonna feel bad, and like that's humanity. That's part of being human, right? But
yes,
also like society as a whole should probably give us support when we need it, and
pours the shit
we
on
should
us, doesn't it?
contribute when we
Instead.
can, right? Like like
Hmm.
yeah, instead of shitting on us, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No,
yeah,
it's 100%. I think that's it. The things that make us feel good, our agency is,
yes,
having
yeah,
the choice and the freedom, and also, being treated as if we're the same as everyone else, not having to feel like we have this boss and we have all these expectations, all these bills that we have to pay,
yeah,
uh, just to get by. Uh, and the book talks about getting out of it, and it talks about it in several different ways. It talks about, so I've got a list of the chapters here. So the first thing it talks about is us as, what does it mean to be human? It means that
right,
we're primarily part animal, but also part conscious being. We're the self-aware animal, which is a crazy and amazing thing to be, because
yeah,
it means we're no longer, the reason the name of the book's the Transcendence Manifesto is because it talks about how all this competition we've had, and the struggles that are inherent to nature, because nature can be quite cruel. We
yeah,
can finally transcend that now because we are aware of ourselves. So we can change fundamentally ourselves, but then we can change our society.
right,
So culture is a reflection of collective choice. Uh, but cultures can be very different all over the world, and we have the ability to mold our own culture. So I
hmm
talk about culture, and in the second chapter about how we've constructed a lot of dogmas to justify hierarchies.
right,
So, for example, one example might be religion talks about if you disobey God, then you go to hell. It's inherently putting disobedience alongside wrongness. And the
yeah,
law is exactly the same, because the law isn't about what's right and wrong. We know from the Nazi times that it was illegal
Yeah.
to help a Jewish person. So there's a divergence there,
Yeah.
and it basically equates being obedient with being right, and that's so wrong.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
so I call the second chapter dogma and pseudo morality.
Right.
Uh, and then after that, I talk about how do we move beyond this kind of more primal and um egotistical state that we're only concerned with our own power and our own uh, place in the system, and how do we affect good change towards a better society? And I
Hmm.
list the I suppose like the it's my equivalent to the heavenly virtues, but in a more
Okay.
anarchist way. So reason, we have to be open to reason, not dogma.
Right.
Faith, but in not in a religious or dogmatic sense, but in positivity and believing in ourselves, and you know that we can affect a more reasonable world. Because if we don't have that level of, I guess, faith in progress, then we're doomed to nihilism. um
Right.
Next is sacrifice. So being able to put yourself out of your comfort zone, from because change has to be affected, and that does require some hardship. I mean, some of the things that I done, the projects that I done, I didn't always want to get up every day.
Right.
It's hard work organizing a project. But I done it because I thought, this is legacy, and it's going to make a better world.
Right.
uh the next is empathy, and that's synonymous with humanity. So empathy is again, it's a distinguisher of a higher species, that we can actually care for one another. And we
Mm.
need to stop dehumanizing and start rehumanizing society, because we're not workers, we're not cogs, we're not teachers,
Yeah.
or all these labels. We're all humans fundamentally.
Right.
um
Right.
and then responsibility. So obviously saying my bad. I we're all. It's not just them who's wrong. We look in the mirror. We've all done
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
So let's be more responsible. Creativity also, because this society demands closed mindedness. So if we create, we can think of ways out of it and start using our own minds to make decisions, rather than having them things just thrown onto us by people up the pyramid.
Right.
Uh, and fairness again is a big one, because everyone complains when they're treated unfairly. But how about your neighbor? How about the
Right.
person down the road? Let's talk
Yeah.
about, if we want to be fair, we have to be fair to everyone.
Yeah.
uh and finally, the final thing I list as my uh in these traits, or whatever, these virtues, is your awareness and your openness to different ideas, and reality as well, not just to be closed off
Right.
of, oh, this is what the book said. It's open
Right.
your mind and look around you.
Yeah.
And I think those 8 things, if everyone looked to be more like that, we could be
Right.
better.
Try to apply them as much as you can. Then, yeah, then that a lot of things could change.
Yeah, on a
Yeah.
collective level. So I talk about that on the personal level in the book, but then how does that translate to creating different groups and projects and working
Okay.
together as a team? And then I go on to talk about communal life, which is kind of unusual, because I talk about the philosophical side of things, and then I talk about the very practical of even growing your own veg, and all that kind of thing is actually in the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, but it's just basically, the book leads you towards anarchy. It's a practical path to anarchy, I would say, and towards
Oh, did I
transcendence
lose you?
of. Oh, did you lose me? Hello? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you lost the sound,
Just for
maybe,
a
or
second.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a practical guide towards anarchy that I would say, um, is about transcendence of the struggles that we face for years with power and control. Because one of the big things I critique a lot is the Marxist idea that it's the proletariat and the bourgeois. Whereas to me, I think it's a lot more nuanced than that. There's a dynamic right from the offset that, you know, two siblings could be rivals with one
Yeah.
another.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I think that's pretty standard for like anarchists to be like, yeah, it's hierarchy actually, and all the different levels that we put people
yeah,
on. It's not just like these two things that like if you fit in that group,
these
then you're on this
blocks.
group. Like,
Yeah. It's a simplification of a very complex situation that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in China or if you're in America.
mhm,
There's people trying to dominate other people in some ways, and even in a family home, you'll have someone who
right,
maybe wants to be the dominant one, and what they say, you have to go along with it, and if you don't, you know, you can get clipped round the ear, and it starts off
right,
like that.
yeah,
um, and that's one thing that I've been very vocally against is, um, I had a big argument with someone because they said that, you know, ADHD didn't exist in their day because they used to hit the kids. And that really pissed me off as someone who
yeah.
has ADHD, you know. I was
Of
very
course, it
angry.
fucking existed. You just used to hit kids that had it. Like,
Yeah.
like,
And my parents weren't great. So, you know, to me, to hear that said from someone, you know, that very much wound me the wrong way.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so, as you can imagine. But,
Yeah, for sure. No,
yeah,
it sounds like
right.
it just sounds like an interesting book. Like it's not very long. Like it looks like what is it?
About
Like
80,000
the
words.
what do we
But
got?
a lot
Like
of it, I
roughly
mean,
240 pages. So
yeah,
it's not
it's short. It's a nice little book. Actually, if you get a hardback, although
yeah.
I recommend getting the ebook because for some reason, well, I went on Ingram Sparks and for some reason they've put the price up, so I need to deal with that.
Oh,
So grab an e-copy on Amazon is the cheapest place at the minute, and there will be, and it should be distributed out to other places. And the paperback copy will come down in price, I hope, at some point if I get onto them. Um,
yeah.
and it's a practical guide to Utopia. It also includes like literally like growing your veg and raising animals and stuff like that, which
Right.
is
Like
kind of,
actual day-to-day stuff,
yeah,
eh?
yeah. But again, you know, you can pick and choose. So you could just take it and see how do I become a better anarchist myself personally, and then you can go, you know, how can this work as a group, you know? And I
No,
even
that's
talk about
fantastic.
illegal activities in there, which some people, I don't know if I'm allowed to say. So I don't know. I'm asking you if I'm allowed. But yeah, no, I even talk about just unconventional and different ways of creating of, of managing money and stuff. Because obviously, if we want to get land, you know, we have to prepare for that. I think land is the ideal for a community. Um, you know, and it's been a dream for me for a long time. Uh, although part of me is now thinking, you know, if I could do wilderness living, I'd love to do that as well. More than just a farm, like
Yeah.
literally live out like with a tribe and see what that's like. So
No, right on. I guess you're on Facebook. Are
yeah,
you on
yeah.
other social media?
Stafford Taylor is my name on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. It's Blue Eyed Phoenix 1991, but it's mainly bird watching photos I have on there.
Okay.
On YouTube, it's Stafford Grayman, which I put longer videos and rants and stuff like that on there. Um, I also have my older blog posts when I was working for the old organization I used to work for, but I'm not using that anymore. But
Okay.
I do want to get back involved with more community work. Obviously, that's where my passion is. Like
Right.
I love my traveling. Um, and I also plan to be later in the year actually hoping to work on a documentary in India
Ah.
with a another guy who we do wildlife photography. So we're hoping to actually get enough footage to put it together to make it into a potentially sellable wildlife documentary.
Cool.
So
All right on.
yeah.
And you said people can find your book pretty much anywhere, and including Amazon.
Amazon, I've uploaded it to two different distributors, so Amazon and Ingram Sparks. I guess you can
Okay.
link those both in the link
Yep.
below. But yeah, like I said, at the minute there may have been some issue with the costing. So the
Okay.
ebook is available on Amazon. That's where you'll get the best value. Of course, if anyone wants to message me directly, I don't have any problem with sending out a free PDF. Although book sales do help me get the word out, because the more you buy my book, the more it will be read. So I do appreciate anyone who can afford it.
For
But
sure.
obviously, my anarchist principles, if you want it for free, you can have it. So,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, unfortunately, we need money to survive, but we will give out our stuff for free. So, yeah,
yeah, but that's the main thing, is the message.
for sure.
The whole point of the
Well,
book.
that's right. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really fun talking to you.
Thank you. And maybe we'll talk again soon. And maybe we could do one about wildlife or something. I don't know. Mix it up a bit.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. All right, Corey. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.